Thanks for having me. Thanks for the introduction. Like some of the speakers before me, I'm going to talk about use cases. And then really excited to show a video kind of for the first time in the public domain. We just got it cleared last week, and I think you'll enjoy it. So I work for a big shipbuilder, and we've been using augmented reality for about 6 years now. Have fielded about 60 projects, and we are in our second full-scale rollout of an augmentation for full-scale production as we speak. I'm going to show you that. The way we classify use cases is actually, we've standardized it. So back in our early days, 2011, 2012, we started counting use cases, right? And I had an engineer who was responsible for doing that, and he came to me and he said, I'm up to about 150. What should I do? And I said, stop. Okay, stop. Let's classify them into groups, okay? And in the 6 years that I've been doing this, I haven't found any that kind of fall outside of these buckets. I have found some that are combinations of them. And I believe that the top three are pretty technologically ready, which is inspection and quality assurance, work instructions at kind of a micro level, a very interpersonal interaction with a set of objects for delivering instructions, and training, using AR to teach a skilled workforce how to do complex things. Okay. These are the things that we are doing today at Newport News and things that we're starting to kind of roll out at scale. The middle band, workflow management, that's work instructions at a macro scale. Can a construction supervisor or general foreman or lead general foreman put people to work on the right things? I'd love to tell you a really fun story. It takes about 20 minutes, so I'm going to skip it today, but if you want to hear it, grab me sometime and I'll tell you. Okay. Operational situational awareness. To me, this again is using AR as the interface for, or edge device for, an Internet of Things solutions. What's the flow rate in that pipe? What's the electrical state of this cabinet? What paint goes on that bulkhead? It's not an instruction per se. It's awareness and how do you interact with your reality. And then safety. We care a lot about safety in our business. Can I use AR to make people safer, more situationally aware, see things that aren't there, alert people to things that are happening in their environment? To me, this is the big use case for head-mounted. Everything I've talked about to this point, we're deploying with tablets. Okay. The last one for us, the most immature technologically speaking, is logistics. Okay, moving people and things around 500 acres of industrial awesomeness, building aircraft carriers and submarines. Right? So once we have these 7 use cases, kind of as a taxonomy, we apply them across 3 different axes. Our product line, which takes into account, do I have 3D data? Right? A Nimitz-class aircraft carrier is still coming into the shipyard for overhauls, but it was designed in the 60s. I don't have the digital content that I have, for example, the Ford aircraft carrier, which is first in class being delivered this year. Next, where are we in the life cycle? Every time I show the 7 use cases, someone raises their hand and says, what about maintenance? Right. I said, well, maintenance is a work instruction at a particular time in the product's life cycle, just like new construction or decommissioning. Okay. So if you consider kind of that temporal band, you can understand that there's more to those 7 use cases in time. And then the trade skill. When we deploy augmented reality to a craftsperson, a skilled craftsperson, it depends what their job does, how we do it. Right? An electrician and a welder have 2 entirely different interfaces with the hardware in particular. Okay? So when you take kind of those variables and the 7 use cases, you multiply them out, I get somewhere around 3,000 use cases. So that count up to 150 was just like scratching the surface. Right? Okay. So what I like to do in my remaining time is talk about the mature ones, and I want to show you a new video. Okay. Inspection. This is a fun deployment that we did this year for a submarine that was in our shipyard for her post-shakedown availability, the USS John Warner. We were doing a hull inspection with augmented reality. First of its kind, single ship payback from a cost perspective, inspecting the hull using AR, okay? A real AR deployment for inspection and quality assurance. If you heard me speak in the first session, you heard me talk about that really high value use case. Well, maybe if you missed it, I should refresh it. We did a deployment for inspection where we're looking for temporary structure in a ship that traditionally relies on paper documentation, flipping through page after page after page of drawing to identify structure in your space that was there to support the superlift, but doesn't belong on the ship, so we cut it out after the fact. 36 hours of planned inspection work was accomplished in 90 minutes using augmented reality, right? High impact selections sell it, right? That's another inspection quality assurance style use case. Okay. Work instructions, okay? One of the things that I'm very cautious with, in my estimation of the thousands and thousands of work packages that get deployed into the shipyard every year to build very large, complex things, I'd say only about 20% of them are conducive to AR. The rest of them belong on a VR interface tablet, pin, zoom, rotate, that's all you need, right? Insert tab A into slot B. You don't need to augment that, it's overkill, okay? But if you have that right spatial relevance for a particular use case, AR is huge, okay? This particular case is in a tank of a ship, and we're running cables from point A to point B, okay? Can I highlight the hangars that they belong in, look at it with a tablet, and deploy an installation tray, an electrical tray in this case, to install cables more quickly, okay? These are the places where AR shines in our environment. Last picture I want to talk about, training. Can we do practicals on the job training, do refresher courses with augmented reality in the field? Really, really powerful stuff. Gotten some really great results. But the caution I would give to the AR community is don't try and compete against your VR brothers for training. There's lots of use cases for virtual reality training, and if you're trying to compete directly against it, you've already picked the wrong use case. You need something to augment, physical, to augment for training to be effective with AR. Okay. I think with that, this is the first time this has ever seen the light of day in public. It's a new use case. I'm going to preface it. I'll talk while you cue it up. Don't start it without me, though. One of the most labor-intensive trades in shipbuilding is surface treatment. Okay? Painting, but we don't call it painting. Right? There are more man-hours spent on that than welding, than on electrical work, than on pipe fitting, than on ship fitting, than on anything else. Giving that craft an opportunity to see what they should be doing spatially is a great, great use case for AR. Okay. So I'm going to run this video. The images I think highly of. Maybe I'll let you tell me after the fact. It's a little technical. Basically, what we're doing is when we put objects on a bulkhead of a ship, we surface treat behind the object, so we don't have to put it up and then take it down, paint it, and put it back up. Okay. So that's what they're talking about in this video. I think the important thing is some of the metrics that you're going to hear from the people that do it. The AR that you see in any of Newport News Shipbuilding's video, at least that we fielded in the last 4 years, is real. There's no Hollywood, no After Effects. This is over-the-shoulder shots of real AR and industrial uses. And the people that are using it aren't my engineers and technicians. They're the real skilled craftspeople on the deck plate that we give these devices to. So with that, let's run it.
So we started this app because we knew there was an issue with rework when they got SORs for paint and way up. Equipment was already installed, so they'd have to come in with an SOR, take the equipment off, paint behind it, then put it back. So it caused a lot of rework. What we were finding is there was about at least 11 SORs on average per compartment, which caused a lot of time.
The compartment needed areas marked off that are going to have furniture and electrical equipment installed. So using the app was able to show us exactly where the equipment and the other pieces were going to be, to where we could mark it off, paint it in preparation for that equipment. When the equipment's installed, it's harder to actually access the bulkhead. So being able to see it beforehand, it was just easier for us to get the job done.
We might have a SOR that states maybe 2 or 3 SORs under the same general format. There might be some electrical panels or some wire studs would be on that single SOR. We can look at a whole space and take care of everything that's in that space all at one time. So that saves maybe 24 to 48 hours in a whole space.
With the on-site application, we've also streamlined the designer's process to get these models to the application. In this way, the surface treatment department can request a certain area of the ship, and months or even a year before the equipment starts going up, they can go ahead and pre-prep this surface in these places where this equipment will be blocking their way.
The fellow at the end is the author of that particular app, and what we're driving to is trying to get those compartments authored in 2 hours. Right now our metric is about 4 man-hours per compartment. There's thousands of compartments on the aircraft carrier. That project is something that we hope to roll out to scale, changes the lives of people, real cost savings to the taxpayer. So yeah, so some exciting stuff.
All right, give it up for Patrick. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so now we can, from industrial augmented reality, we're now going to move into wearable and IoT. Our next speaker